the pain of my upload speeds, I
Mhm.
was thinking I could turn off my camera. I don't know if that'll make much of a difference, given that the pixels aren't changing. But is it possible to pause the molybdenum the high quality upload, the Riverside upload, until after? I saw somebody online asking if somebody had tried to do that, which implies that it is possible. Because I was thinking that might, I've only got like 10 megabits to spare, dedicating it all to the thing you see in real time seems like a good call.
Hosts and producers can pause uploads. This improves the live session and reduces lag. Uploading resumes as soon as the recording stops, but everyone has to remain in the studio until their upload is done.
So you can globally
So
pause it, not just for Jeremy.
first I enabled this feature in general.
Oh, okay.
Now I'll close the settings and try to
All right. I
find
appreciate it.
where is it. I see. I can pause upload for myself and I can pause upload for you.
Oh, great. Would you pause it for me?
It is paused.
Awesome. Okay. Fingers crossed for a less bad experience for you today.
Okay.
I promise I
Let's
will
see.
leave my laptop on and charged and connected to the internet and the tab open.
Okay, here's the screen.
Okay. I see it.
And I made some changes. Now there are no errors or any warnings.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Anything informative that you learned from doing that, or was
Um,
it pretty straightforward?
no, this is now Poem server instead of
Rocket
Rocket server.
something.
I didn't even change the call here. What I did is added a semi here at the end of this and unwrapped this, and also did an await unwrap here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not quite right to do that.
Okay. What is wrong about that?
I don't know. This can fail because
You failed to migrate?
I can hear the duck.
Dude, I'm as far away as this keyboard will let me be.
That's
Let's see.
okay. Only
Sorry.
slightly.
Saturday is the magic day, hopefully. Let me push the laptop into this crevice a little.
This migrate can fail.
Yeah. But
And
that's
this
we want the application to
connecting,
exit when that happens, right?
yes, and connecting here could fail.
Yeah.
But otherwise, there's nothing. And I think we can remove all this at this point.
Okay. Yeah, unwrapping feels reasonable to me. I do know that
Oh, there's notify, SD notify.
oh, good catch. That is going to require hooking into poem in some way
Yes.
because we want to know when it's like actually ready and listening on sockets. We wouldn't want to notify right before starting a poem. So like putting it in line 14 would be wrong. Okay. Well, that could be interesting if we want to go down that path.
So here's the server. Run await. At this point, this will never reach.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps there's some kind of a poke here.
Hopefully.
Poem. Run with graceful shutdown.
Oh.
Run returns an IO results. Run this server. A result of units, I think, means to say that this is not supposed to return that result. New with acceptor, use the specified acceptor to create an HTTP server. We don't seem to have the hook we need here, do we?
It's not jumping out at me from the dock. We could search the poem GitHub issue list for this exact thing we're trying to do. We might not be the first person to ask.
It won't be in the app. It must be in the server, right?
I don't know. I could imagine it either way, like an API design question for poem. Do you remember what the name of the environment variable is that notify uses under the hood?
No. But I remember it's called SD notify.
Okay. So many forms of notification. Oh yeah, there's like a socket that we write to or something. I think there's an environment variable that says where the socket is. Notify socket. Yeah, there it is. So we could try searching for that in their issue tracker.
Okay.
Not in the code. Okay, well, I'm just hoping because that smelled like something other people would want.
Next thing.
Share screen. All right, PR tracker, mob, start 7. Well, that's going on. Mod be open. There we go. Wonderful. Okay. Murad. Start up. Book. Start up. Hmm. We could read code. What do you think is a good direction to try?
There's no way that this is anywhere but the server, is it?
Well, let me look at the code. What's the entry point that we were looking at? API main. Is it? Okay. It does not seem to me impossible for it to be in the app. Like this
Then see
API.
what run accepts.
Okay, good question. This accepts a E, which is an end-to-end point, and I don't really know how to read that. Too many colons.
E is an into endpoint.
I got that.
And it being an into endpoint, the into endpoint trait defines an associated type called endpoint.
What does associated type mean?
It's a type that is associated with the implementation, with any particular implementation of that trait.
Okay.
An implementation can say, I am X. Here's an implementation of into endpoint for X, where endpoint is Y.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this is a bound, just like 94.
Yeah.
94 is a bound.
This is
95 is a
further
bound.
restricting what E is.
Right.
And I just don't know what syntactically that means. Is that this type declaration? That's an associated type?
Exactly.
Okay. Got it. Neat. I don't know if I've seen that before. Okay. I don't understand how that's different than generic, but there's probably a reason it exists. Okay,
I
good.
don't understand how it's different than generics either.
Oh, okay. Great. So
But I think one way in which it's different than generics is that it can be referred to in this manner.
mhm, I see. Okay, well, I think I'm probably wrong. I guess this ultimately depends on the endpoint type itself, huh? So what I care about now, okay, so this is just saying that endpoint is a static type. Is that what that's saying? I don't really know what static, I don't know what this apostrophe and not
Yeah,
totally
static
sure I grok
lifetime.
static.
It means that if it is a reference,
Mm-hmm.
then it's a static lifetime reference.
Okay. So I don't care about its lifetime. What I care about is what makes an endpoint an endpoint. Okay. And I think this settles it. Shahar is correct. To be an endpoint, you have an output type, you have a call, which happens only in response to a request, which is not what we're dealing with here. And you have a get response, which
Mm-hmm.
also feels like something tied to a request. So I am sold that you are correct. This trait does not have a shape that would allow uh, this to like run some code after the server has started up. I think it's really all about the server itself.
What about what new takes?
Yeah, is that a? Oh, that's a poem. Okay, I saw this. I saw TCP listener, and I sort of assumed it was a core Rust thing, but I was wrong about that. Yeah, this takes a listener. I guess let's see what a listener is. Uh-oh. L is the type listener. Okay, great. Represents a listener that can listen, where it can be converted into an acceptor. You can combine. I guess it's listen on multiple ports. TLS, very exciting. More TLS stuff. Oh man, they have Acme support baked in. That's crazy. All right, wrap it in a box. I think that's it. That doesn't seem like it would have startup. I don't think I have any changes to share. Yeah, I wrote
That's
it.
our way in.
What's our way in?
The listeners are way in.
Really? Okay, I must have misread or misunderstood what we were looking at.
But look, here's this TCP. So listener is a listener, and listener has and this is from Poem as well.
Mm-hmm.
And has all these methods here.
Yeah, so we did just look through them, and none
And
of these. Oh,
but that's fine, because the listener itself, like if this is one listener, right? This is one implementation, TCP listener.
mm-hmm.
Let's find it. TCP listener.
I see. Okay, this is a.
TCP listener. TCP listener. Available on Create Feature Server only. It's a TCP listener. You can call bind, gives you a self,
Mm-hmm.
turns a TCP listener.
Yep,
Just a moment.
sure thing.
All right, sorry, I'm back.
No worries.
It returns a a T a self, and a self doesn't it implements this listener that is required.
Mm-hmm.
And if only we could, hook into this or replace this.
I mean, we could wrap it, I guess, in another listener, but doing it right after
Maybe
bind.
binds, if bind synchronously returns self, maybe that's because I don't see anything async here.
Yeah.
This
So
synchronously binds and it's bound, so that means it's listening.
I agree. It's kind of funny because at that point it's bound, but there isn't any code yet in Poem that's like calling accept on the bound socket. I guess that's fine because at the point that you've like bound a socket, you've done the things to the Linux kernel to say like, hey, accept connections for me and buffer them. And we know that Poem's about to start, you know, handling connections. So it just smells a little off to me because it's like Poem hasn't actually started reading from the socket yet.
Mm-hmm.
But this might be the best we can do. And it doesn't even feel wrong because
And
there are buffers in the kernel.
so it's just a matter of extracting this.
Before we do this, can we, and we can time box this, but I would be interested to look at the run method on server and see how dense that code is.
The
'Cause I just want to see like where it basically where it calls like bind and if it does anything right after that.
what calls we call bind.
Oh, that returns. I see. Got it. I guess I'm curious to see what the server does under the hood with this listener. Like, at what point does it start accepting? And that might be in the run method.
Yeah, because here it just gives you a struct, holds the listener.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything. The run is a
Okay.
wrapper for run with graceful shutdown.
Reasonable. Can we look at that? Sweet.
Here is the listener.
Okay. Whoa, what's this notify? That's not relevant, is it? Some other type of notify?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
some primitive.
Yeah. Max listener. Hey, there you have a listener or an acceptor. Okay, tracing info. Server started. This is what we're talking about. There's no hook here, right? This is just printing stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that, well, hold on. Here, listener turns it into an acceptor and then awaits, and then there's this try.
Hmm.
So you end up with an acceptor. What is this? So into acceptor, we need to see what specifically, because that's when it's, so this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This
The
TCP
listener is the
listener.
one that turns into an acceptor.
Yeah, here is a listener into acceptor.
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo TCP.
Oh,
Yeah,
does bind not actually do what we thought it did? Look at line
bind
22.
doesn't do
That's just,
anything.
oh, geez. Okay, I'm glad we read the code. Yikes.
Next.
And I test probably would have passed anyways, because like probably very hard to read a test that actually catches that small window of time. Okay.
Share screen.
Thank you. One of the nits that I have about this UI is there's this like hover functionality, which is totally fine. But the thing about hover is if you then like fall off of it, it goes away, which again is totally fine. But if I actually click on the damn thing, my brain expects it to like stay there even if I hover off of it. And it's not that I even want to be clicking to start my screen share, but it bothers me. Start. All right. Acceptor. Where are we gonna find that? That's gonna be on TCP listener. Into acceptor. Okay. This is not a poem type, right? This is a Tokyo type. Nice.
Yep.
So that's where the true binding occurs. Okay, so this is kind of the thing we'd want to run, right? Is can we actually
We
do this
can
ourselves?
re-implement this. This is nothing. This is literally, you see that's all TCP listener has, right?
Yeah, but do we even need to re-implement it? Like, what if we call into acceptor and pass that in? Like, am I acceptor into, like, would that work? I think it compiles. Nope, I'm a liar. What do I know?
Now it's a future.
Oh, how do you know? Oh, yeah, okay. So do I do a wait?
Await unwrap, if I remember correctly.
That is a TCP acceptor now. Hmm.
Make sure you
What about?
save. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was wrong. I thought we saw. Oh, new takes a listener. Okay. Listener can be an either. So either a listener or an acceptor. Oh, new with
That's not.
acceptor. So we try that?
Try what?
So we're trying to call new and feeding in an acceptor, which violates the types. But I just noticed here, right below it, there's a new with acceptor. So I think we can
Okay.
just do new with acceptor. Yeah, there we go. And then I think we can
Now we
notify
can
here.
notify.
That seem reasonable?
I think so.
Cool.
But
All
can
right.
we take a look again at into acceptor that we're calling? Go to definition.
On this one right here?
Yes.
Yes. Let me see if I can get those side by side.
That show us the docs for that bind call.
Creates a new TCP listener, which will be bound to the specified address. The returned listener is ready for accepting connections.
That's
What
what
we're
we
talking
wanted
about.
to read.
We feel good about this, right?
Yeah. This does not. This is unambiguous.
Okay.
Ready is ready.
Let's do some notification. I do not mind this. way that we're restructuring the code. Once again, no special API here from Poem necessary. Just interact with the primitives in a slightly different order.
In app.
Jeremy. Yeah, I'm trying to find that code. Here it is. SD notify.
That's all.
Boom. Boom. Oh. Okay. And then we can do a panic or something. How do we want to handle this?
Is that a let? Maybe in a let else. But
Let
no,
else.
that would just be an unwrap.
Oh, okay. Would do like SD notify dot unwrap like that. That's the ticket. Do we want to add any error context, or is this good enough?
Give us a to-do there for making it more ergonomic.
Ergonomic. Okay.
Yeah, just
what is it?
Reporting the error better.
To do yeah, to do give a nicer error. Okay. There we go. All right. Unused variable. How do you even know it's an unused variable? Oh, we're unpacking. Got it. So we need to pass this database URL down somehow.
Yeah, I wonder how it's even. That entire comment can be deleted.
This one here.
Yes.
Great. So this URL, there's the to do. Okay. I feel reasonable just like passing in the URL as a parameter here. How do you feel about that?
Certainly.
This will probably
There's
break.
something about it. I mean, what's the fine.
This is a string, a stir, a can't stir.
That is
Okay.
progress.
Great. And then here we can pass in db URL, which is a type string. So I don't know. I do like into
Just borrow.
bar.
No, not borrow with the ampersand.
Oh, that converts it from a capital string to a lowercase stir. Okay.
Yes.
I will get used to that someday. Right. Great. And it's complaining about the panic, and I will run it. Stop share. All right.
At this point, this might start running.
Well, that's pretty exciting.
Cargo text. Am I sharing screen? Yes.
You are.
Something does not compile. Is this the same thing over and over, or what am I looking at?
I don't know. It's a lot. Whatever it is. The word rocket's showing up in a lot. Oh,
Okay,
the tests are going to have
I'll
to
go to
change.
test util. Oh no.
Okay. This totally makes sense. And I think this is going to get cleaner / less weird.
This
Like, for
test
instance,
context. Yes.
one of the things that I'm excited about getting cleaner is we really had to work to figure out how to feed in that database URL as config here. And now it's going to be super straightforward. It's just a parameter to a function.
I see.
I guess what
Test
we don't know
context
yet. Sorry, go ahead.
will remain the same, and I will remove this stuff because maybe now it'll be somehow, hopefully.
We'll see.
Client. What client?
Yeah, we got to read up
Poem
on.
should have some equivalent.
Hopefully, got to do a little research.
Of clients. Poem.
Test.
Poem. Module.
Test.
Test.
Test client. New app. Beautiful. That's super straightforward. That's exactly what we want.
I don't see the test client struct here.
I guess we'll find out what. Oh, no, never mind. It's called test client.
Test client. Then why do I not see it here? Module test.
You were thinking to ask a question. I wouldn't even think to.
Test client.
Yeah. Do you think we're looking at dead, like outdated docs here?
Test clients. From test client. I don't know why I didn't. Maybe I must have been looking at the wrong place. I'm looking at module test, and I guess I'm like not inside of it, not inside the module test.
Hmm.
Somehow this, I'm not getting it, but this doesn't look like it's inside the module test. Is something wrong with the docs? Module tests, phone module test, phone test client, phone test client. Obviously, this is the page for that struct, but
Sure.
if I go back to test, shouldn't I see that here? I think I
Seems
kind
like
of
a
should.
reasonable desire.
Well, fine. Phone test, struct test client,
Mm-hmm.
create feature test only.
Okay, we might need that. I mean, we definitely need it. We might not have it.
Poem test. Seems like we don't have this.
Sure. Add it. Cargo
So
Toml somewhere.
API cargo toml.
Maybe. Cool.
Let me use the CLI here. cargo PR transfer API add poem f test. Cargo add p API poem f test.
I think home might be misspelled. Form.
Poem.
Cool. Unrecognized feature for create poem.
Sorry, what?
Uh-oh. Is this a different version of poem?
Possibly. Cargo feature poem. If it's alphabetic, I don't see. Oh, I see test here.
Indeed.
I don't understand. I see test here,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't understand. Next.
Mod start 7. And I'll share my screen. Oh my. Come on. I can click on button. Here we go. Okay. What is it? API cargo. So can I just type it and see what happens?
Yep.
Okay, that triggered some stuff. Feels like it's working. Maybe we were just misusing the CLI. Do you want to understand what happened, or are you happy enough with this?
I'm good with this.
Okay. I would argue that this seemed more straightforward than even trying to run that CLI command.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is how I will add features in the future.
I did notice that our version of poem is major 2 and
Okay, I'd
major
vote for let's
3.
stay up to date. We haven't we haven't released a version with Poem yet.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I just do that? I don't know how to do that. You taught me this in the past. It's like cargo lock or something. Cargo update.
Probably cargo update with some flag spec. Cargo update, just cargo update poem.
Okay. All right. I want to
Do a mob
do a
next
git.
first.
Okay, I was going to do a git add because I just want to see what it does. But I guess I can do it on next. It's the same thing. Nothing.
I think it doesn't bump major by default. Wait, but it doesn't bump. Sorry, it doesn't bump anything by default.
We
Can
had this
you?
conversation a little
Yeah.
while ago, and I
No,
thought we said
you're
it
right.
obeys the version specifier.
It should.
Maybe I need to specify the workspace.
Or the package. Well, wait,
I am specifying the package.
the breaking.
Really?
Try.
All right. Little Earth.
There's no such thing.
The breaking flag is unstable. Only available in the night. This is the stable. I mean, I can specify specifying the exact version.
Try.
I sure would like to not have to. Okay. That's like 3 point. What was it? Do you remember?
311.
311. Yeah, I really did it, huh? Not ideal, but it looks like it did. It didn't touch our cargo atomo. Chili. Is there 310? Okay, and now if I do a update poem, just to test out that, hey, it did it. Okay, so it is doing, it seems to be unwilling to jump across major versions, despite the fact that we've used an asterisk.
Yep.
That irks me.
Yeah, it's like we already gave the instruction by using the asterisk.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess what we haven't done yet is we have not set up some sort of like auto update everything. And this will affect the way we build that or, you know, hopefully configuration for whatever GitHub action we end up using. But at least it won't affect the way our cargo tomls are written. I don't know if that's, yeah, whatever. Okay, good catch. Let's do a cargo build. Okay, they're combining. This is very exciting. All right, where's our problematic test code?
It's in test util.
Test util. Awesome. Okay. So we've got a client, but it needs more. We need to type of the app or something. App. Oh, I guess I'll rotate. I'm
Creating this with a new is passing in that AT that turns into that endpoint E.
mhm.
So how do we know what endpoint this is in our case? Well, our utility can be generic as well. It's already generic on this.
Mhm.
So it can be test context.t.
Okay.
That
Alright, I see.
And I was wrong about this. Flip that comma.
Oh, cool.
And here's that T that
You're gonna
needs
have
to
to show me how
come
you do that
from.
flip comma thing sometime.
It's an action.
Like something coming from the LSP.
Yeah.
I see.
T
All right.
with. Okay. So delete this part. And here's the width. This is currently returning a rocket futures future local box future.
I don't think it's returning that.
It takes a test function once that returns that. In this case now.
Oh, this is the callback that we're invoking. I see.
Yes. That's just, I don't even.
Is this just like a Tokyo future or something?
Local box future. I mean, Tokyo has this local
Because their tests are going to be async.
box.
I get it. We got to await on there.
I don't know why we don't have it from Tokyo. Tokyo has something like this.
Well, I think we don't have it from Tokyo because Rocket kind of abstracted Tokyo away.
But now we have Tokyo, right? Local box. Or maybe it's not. No, so maybe it's futures crates. Futures crate. Local box future. Oh, let's get it. Let's get the futures crate then. Do we already have the futures crate anywhere? Of course, in the log file, but in the crates. Yep.
Okay.
In the store. So I'm promoting futures to. So here it's futures workspace true.
Okay.
And this goes algorithm workspace dependencies C D E F G. Okay. And then we need the futures in API cargo toml. C D E F G futures. True. And then we can get back to test util.
Great.
And say local box future of unit. That may be progress.
We'll see. Cool.
Next error here is, I don't know. So
Sure.
what is this?
There's no rocket
This is the
going on.
implementation of that with. What we do is we further delegate to DB context, database context with.
Okay.
The test.
Yeah, we got to get a database.
The binding that we've received. Okay, so rocket.
So I think this just disappears because this is us just doing some acrobatics to build up Rocket configuration.
Yeah.
But
Here's
we
the
just
app,
need to build the app and feed it the database URL now. It's going to be much cleaner.
So can extract. Here's the app
Mm-hmm.
and DB URL that we got from
DB context. Is that DB URL?
the. Isn't it self?
It looked like 3 lines down. You can see we're pulling it off of DB context.
Where's DB context coming from here?
That's the callback for this like database context that we're inside of.
Okay. Anything the
Beautiful.
this?
That's, I think, it. It might be nice to crank up logging if Poem has a feature like
It's
that.
expected 0 argument.
No way. We just added an argument.
We did. Okay. It was
That was weird.
out of date.
Okay.
Next step.
Okay. Well, let's start 7. Okay. Okay. What have we got going on? Arguments are incorrect. Consider borrow. Sure. Okay. And then this all goes away. It does this. And now we're building a let client, let API client equal Poem test client app. Oh, I love it. I mean, assuming it works. New. Okay. Well, never as easy as you like, I guess.
What's the bound?
Required by a bound introduced by the cell. The trait bound into endpoint is not satisfied.
It's showing you also there is a future that the output is a result.
Oh,
So the
okay.
app is not
All right.
what.
So we got to call await.
Await unwrap.
Makes sense. Okay. I expected a blah, but I got a blah. So test context. We got to look at the type definition here, I guess. This takes the test context of A and T. Oh, do we need to specify a bound on T? Like right now, T could be anything under the sun. But what we
I'm not
really need to
sure.
say
I
is,
kind of want to stare at it more.
okay, sorry. There we go.
What's interesting is that it's not satisfied.
Yeah, it does feel like this is a T, right? Because a T is anything.
Mm-hmm.
Would cargo build give clearer output? Wait, cargo test?
Cargo build with all targets,
Oh, okay.
but cargo test would also.
Oh, Okay. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. I don't know if this is going to be helpful. Here we are. Is this it? That's util. Expected blah found, and then it's truncating. Okay, thanks. This is less helpful. Oh, there it is.
Wait, that's not where the error is then.
This mentions an opaque type.
Yes, it's an impl.
Okay.
Those are diagnostics, what you're showing us. It's not the error. I mean,
This
on
is the error.
in the editor, that is the error. It's line 39.
Which is where I am. I'm on line 39 right here.
Right, but it should... Oh, okay, no, you're right. That's mismatch types. So opaque type cannot satisfy T.
Maybe.
It expected. Yep. Okay, so what...
I mean, it kind of makes sense to me that we're underspecifying something here, just speaking of someone with little Rust experience, but it's like, I would not expect this to be able to accept any old P under the sun.
When I added T there, I realized that we might want to have a more concrete type.
Yeah.
But what is it?
An into endpoint, I think.
The type test client. Just adopt what it is. What the bounds on it are. Just adopt them to our test context. That should solve the problem.
On it. Okay, so we've got this thing. So should I declare it to be this?
No. What I'm suggesting is that on line 4 we are declared a T that has no bounds.
Yeah.
The reason we declare that T at all is because on line 10 test client takes a T.
Yep.
The test client obviously has bounds on that T. If we just adopt the same bounds right there where you started writing them,
like this,
you just go to the type test client and see what the bounds are.
Okay. This thing right here, right? Test client block.
Line 10, you can reach the type definition.
This is E.
I would go to the actual code. I guess we already found that E has no bounds, but the implementation on line 22.
Yeah, so it has to be endpoint if we want to benefit from this stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
So that could be our
poem
bound.
endpoint. That would be like poem endpoint or something like that.
Yeah, that should be it.
And now we have to bubble that around.
Yes.
Okay. Next.
Saving. And our test. What's that? Import of that test context. Here it's not necessary.
Okay.
It's necessary in the impl. Yep, that is definitely the bound is there. Right? The simple is only available for a text context where T is that, and
Okay.
that same T is here. This is the same text context.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can get back. It seems like we didn't solve our type mismatch though.
Right. This looks the same.
What is this anyway? Test this. Is this what we want to do, to call test with this?
I think so. We want to give it the context so that it can get its hands on the client.
We made a test context. There's nothing wrong with that. Now we're passing our mutable reference to that test function once,
Mm-hmm.
and we're getting that impl poem into endpoint. So that's being inferred. Test context here is being inferred somehow. You see what I'm saying?
Can we be explicit about the type on line 32 and get a different error?
It's being inferred because it's being given this field, this API client right here.
Mm-hmm.
And app determines that.
So could we be explicit about the type temporarily on line 32 and see what errors we get?
Well, I don't know what we'd be explicit about. What is the type? Because we never had a concrete type here. This thing, it returns an impl something.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a concrete type. Result impl.
Okay.
That's what we need to change. We need to change what gets actually returned here.
Okay.
Or make it a generic as well, instead of impl. If we know, what this is, so that width, it's not even that, it's that width. What does it return? Some T output that determined by the middleware. That's like that's a rabbit hole. Like we don't want to go there, but we can make it generic. I think this would be app of T,
Okay.
and then this would obviously, or maybe E
Okay.
in their own jargon, because it
And then
returns an
would we put a
endpoint
bound
here,
on
right?
E?
I'm not sure. I think you can't just return an E just like that, right? Found struct expected type parameter found struct. Yeah, add data endpoint. That thing. That's what we are actually So we could use that as a concrete because we have
That
access to
feels
it.
reasonable to me.
But expected this type parameter. But I don't understand the error because, I mean, E is supposed to be anything. There are no bounds on it, so why wouldn't it accept becoming a...
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get it because you can't just say you're returning a result of... I guess I never really did this where the E is inferred from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's something that's passed into app that determines the E, or something.
Mm-hmm. So can we, I mean, I know how to I have ideas for thrashing around, but I just don't actually grok what exactly is going on.
Nexted.
Okay. 37. We could thrash around by trying to add some concrete types or some bounds, but
Show us that app again, please.
where is it? Uh, okay.
We could return a trait object here.
What does that mean? Or how would I do that?
Would be app won't be generic. And it returns a result of box. Wait, can it actually? Yeah, I'm not sure I like it, but let's try and do it. See whether it's possible at all.
Okay.
And E is not generic. App is not generic. Instead, the result a box of dine, and then the trait. What's the trait that we're dealing with? Try dine units. Sorry, that unit doesn't make sense. Box of units. And then show us from the error. We will see what the... How come? Maybe I think it's like an into endpoint, right? So try dine into endpoint.
Sure. Dine into and okay.
Then we need to actually box what we are returning,
Oh, okay. Like this.
but not outside the OK, inside the...
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there's associated type.
Okay.
Uh, into endpoint, where endpoint is. So it's like you need to have angles after into endpoints, like into
Yeah.
endpoint of, and then it needs to be endpoint where you have unit, endpoint equals.
Trying to get it to tell me. Come on. No? Okay, maybe. Found struct. Add data endpoint. Expected unit type blah. Found this. So that's the thing they want?
Well, we're not going to do that.
Hey, we did it.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I
Maybe
don't
it's
even
not
understand.
into
Have we changed the
endpoint, maybe it's
runtime?
endpoint. Try endpoint instead of into endpoint.
Okay.
Oh no, not there. Instead of into endpoint. Yeah. And
Ah,
then
sorry. Oh my gosh, sorry. Yeah.
does that work?
I have red now instead of just yellow.
Endpoint also has an associated type. It's called output.
Mhm.
Try adding that. There might be a code action for that. Also, it says the trait endpoint cannot be made into an object, which means it's not object safe, which means we can't do this box-dine trait. Box-dine
Okay.
trait says, I'm going to have some type in the box here that implements that trait, and that's all you can know about it. And at runtime, say it's a runtime
Hmm.
mechanism. It's called runtime overhead.
Okay. Because this is actually like allocating memory and putting something somewhere.
Yes, it's a form of type erasure.
Okay.
And we can't do it unless it's into endpoint, but then I don't know what, but then we have to kind of specify the endpoint again. I think it's maybe not possible with this
Okay.
trait. So we could try to find the concrete like we did, but it won't be a box-dine blah, blah, blah. It will be a result of that concrete.
Okay. So I'll remove the box.
No, because that's a trait. I mean, you do remove the box, but that's not enough. It's still, right? You didn't mean to
Okay.
suggest
Yeah, yeah,
into
yeah.
endpoint will not be there. Those are traits.
Got it.
It will be add data endpoint.
Mhm. Something like that.
Yes, it's rather gross.
Oh, there's a migrate error. Okay, got it. There we go. Balance those things. Okay. And then remove the box. Okay. Nice. On next.
I really don't want us to do that though.
Sure. But at least we've gotten rid of the runtime weirdness and now we are just dealing with type weirdness. That feels like progress to me.
Um, test util.
Would you share screen?
Oh, this that would be that now is the same kind of same type here. All this.
Until we figure
Add
out how
data
to write that in a less
endpoint of,
weird way.
well,
Or are we out of ideas?
it should be generic, I think. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, the impl was nice, but now we're trying to keep it somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
to store it somewhere. You can't do that with an impl. You can do that with a generic. So this looks okay.
Okay.
And I think it is an endpoint, not. But hey, why does this not? Is this a different endpoint? Wasn't this generic? No, it had a type, associated type.
Right.
Oh, into
Yep, that rings a bell.
response. But that has a default. As a default. That's why
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to specify it. So that's what I think should happen, is that app should be generic like it was, E, and E should be somehow determined, like inferred. That's what we want. We want E to be inferred.
Mm-hmm.
All this, right, add data endpoint of poem, route, yada yada. This I want it to be inferred, and I want it to be E.
Yeah.
But then it tells me, no, I found this struct, and this struct is not E.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, see, the type constructor contains that due to the type of the argument passed. But what's wrong? Like, why? What's wrong? Like, it doesn't explain what type error is. Like, what does it mean to expect this type parameter? This type parameter doesn't have any bounds on it, and it's like, why doesn't it
Yeah.
become inferred? And this is where I said I never did this. I never expected a type parameter to be inferred. Like in a way, this will never be any other concrete. It will be one concrete every time.
Right.
So maybe this is like abusing generics.
I mean, it does seem to me like up until now, everything we've done with Rust, like the function signatures, the types of the functions, has never been inferred from the implementation. Like you're always explicit about what comes in and what comes out.
Yeah.
And then if you change the code inside, it can't possibly influence any type inference around the in and the out.
The typical thing to do in this case is so this won't, I think this won't work. Typical thing to do, and then we had that, is to say, well, yeah, it is an impl endpoint. And that's accepted, albeit something about panics.
Okay.
Found opaque type. So this is not a problem here.
Yeah.
It is a problem in the test util where we're saying, well, we're saying this is a test client of impl endpoint. But impl can live this way on the stack, but I think the point where it fails is where, what's the type of this? Test context of impl. Well, apparently it can also, this is also not a problem, apparently.
Yeah.
But
it's the callback,
this,
right? And so
type parameters must be constrained to match other types. I think that's the key here.
So do we just need to add an impl there up on line 13
Nexted.
to make them look the same? Like,
Share screen.
thank you. Okay, so right here, saying T impl poem endpoint. Here's
Type
the T.
parameters must be constrained to match other types.
Like, should this say impl right here? Is that the missing thing?
That's not a thing.
Oh, okay. You
The
can't
impl
say
does
something
not
like that.
work in that position.
Oh, okay.
It's not a constraint. That's a constraint. That's a constraint, right? That's a bound. Line 13.
Okay.
What I want to, because that's our key. That sentence that I read a few times, type parameters must be constrained to match other. That's the smart compiler designer person. That's the clue they left for us.
Right.
What type parameters are we talking about? T?
Okay.
And then there's a chapter about it in the book. For more information, visit traits, and then it says traits as parameters.
Instead of a
Can
concrete
you
type. Yeah.
go back, please? Test, the function test, it can take an impl something, but it test, because functions can take impl something, I believe. It currently takes a ref mu test context of lifetime A and T.
No, see that lifetime A and T. That's this. Oh, this right here. Okay.
But what if it's a test context of lifetime A and impl endpoint instead?
Mm-hmm.
Think we can try that?
So can I just type that? What would I say? T info
No, instead of T.
info poem like that. Hmm, weird. Okay, it's just taking a moment. Hey, that is now not happy up here. Nested infiltrate is not allowed.
Yeah. That's the first impl is in the beginning of line 15.
Mm-hmm. So do I put another impl over here and then
I
reference it
th-
here?
I think the first impl can be converted into a generic.
This one here. That goes here. Is that what you're saying?
Please take it slow at this point
Sure.
because it's getting, you know, finicky.
Mm-hmm. The first impl.
The
Were you
first,
referring to this?
yes, but it's not just a quick syntactical change. It's like more like it test becomes a. So the first thing we can do is we can remove the bound on T because that's no longer what we mean at all.
So just leave T or remove the entire
Remove the
generic?
bound because we're going to use T because I think test will become just T. For
Test will
example,
become T.
yes, but we are going to need to keep just maybe T plus static or T. No, I think just T. Just T. And
Okay.
then take the rest of that line, which by the way
Mm-hmm.
wraps onto the next line.
Yep, I see that. Okay. So I'm doing T,
And delete the rest of the line,
the rest of the line. Okay.
including the part that wraps. It's just T. And now where T is specified is using a bound instead. The
Okay.
bound is like impl of T, line 13.
So how do I write them over here? Okay.
Yeah, but not there because that's like too much to stick in there. That would be,
Where?
yes, exactly, where.
Okay.
Yeah, where, and then you can drop a line and say T colon, and then it'll be something similar to line 18. A function once, for, maybe for, blah, blah, blah. Maybe all of it except for the impl.
Okay. Now it still doesn't like that impl.
Impl trait is not allowed in the parameters of fn trait bounds. Well, maybe this can be another generic,
Okay. This would be like
like
E and
E.
T.
Yeah. That would be just E. And then you introduce a bound for E.
E is a type poem endpoint.
Endpoint. But then if we're not using impl anymore, then I don't think we solved the problem that we have with the impl. Is it possible to see we have the same error, right, on line 45? Wait, how is E not constrained?
I don't know. Looks like there's a constraint here. Do I need to say like full and impl?
No.
Okay.
E is constrained. Show the error again. Type parameter E is not constrained by the impl trait. Self type
These where things we've written, are those predicates?
predicates. Predicates. I think they are predicates.
That makes sense.
Wait, screen locked. But I think it needs to be on the self type. Typic. Like if we're using T in the test context, and we're not using E directly in the test context, but we're using E inside T, aren't we?
I believe so. Right here. Yes, we are.
Wait. This doesn't make sense. How are we using test context once with T there and then another time with E? That's not what we meant to do.
Okay. This should be E.
Well, then where does T come in? That's not. I'm sorry. Hold on.
E is
That's
used here.
okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think that's more correct. Test context of E. The test context. We're kind of confusing letters here because line 4, we're calling it T.
Sure. This is like the T for test or F for func. TF for test function.
Yeah, we can call it F. And on line 4, we can call what's T, we can call E for endpoint, right? Because that is the endpoint, right?
I
It's a
think so.
test client of that endpoint.
Yep.
Okay. So what does complaint now? F is not constrained. What can I say? Let's go with concretes then.
Okay. Do you want to keep going or call it here?
Call it.
Okay. Oh boy. Types, huh? This is I mean, like, you've got so much more Rust experience than me. Is this like feel normal to you, or are we like really, really in it?
It never feels normal.
Oh, really? This is
I
just part
mean,
of.
yeah, it's like Rust is smooth sailing until it's not,
Hmm.
and then I need to understand something deep and hope that I remember it next time as well.
Yeah, it seems. I guess that's what I'm wondering. Is like the does it get better? Because like I've had that learning curve with most computer stuff where it's like here's an extended period of possibly years where it's just like I can get by vaguely. There's like weird dragons that I've run into that I don't understand how I slayed them or how I got around them, and I haven't had that feeling in a while. That's part of why I wanted to learn, something really new. That's like Nix very much gave me that for the longest time, and now Rust is giving me that. So I just wonder if there's an there's another side to you know the downhill on the other side of the mountain.
To put things into perspective, we can use the concrete types, right? We're just trying to
Yeah, and I
be
suppose
less
we could make
verbose.
the concrete types less odious, less nasty if we defined like a type alias somewhere
Correct.
and we use that. Okay, I can imagine. I have enough Rust knowledge to know how to do that, I think. Okay, well, that is what we'll do tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and even sponsor. See you next time.